So I want to start by talking just on one side of the higher education bubble, and that's the enrollment side of the bubble. I think it was Rich Benner, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, who said we either have a bubble in enrollment or a bubble in costs. And I want to talk about where we are with enrollment right now and the effects that that has had on academic quality. Most recent years, about 70% of all high school graduates go on to some kind of higher education. I want you to think back to your own high school years. Think about your senior class and think about 70% of them pursuing some kind of academic degree. That is the reality where we are right now, and it's changed a lot over the past half a century or more. In 1940, only about 10% of the adult population had some kind of college, up to and including a degree. Now, 55% of the adult population in the United States has some kind, or some college, including people who went for just a few years, up to people who got PhDs. So enrollment has increased fantastically since the 1940s and continues to do so, partially because of what Lindsay was talking about. We hear the conventional wisdom that a bachelor's degree is the ticket to the American dream. And that increasing enrollment means that universities are left with some difficult decisions to make. Do they decrease minimum standards? And once they admit those students, what do they do in classes? What do they do administratively? And they basically have a choice between two bad options. They can have low graduation rates by still keeping academic quality high, or they can inflate grades, introduce many remedial courses, and dumb down the curriculum. And in fact, we do see a lot of remedial courses in higher education in four-year universities. About a third of all students in four-year universities now take either remedial math or remedial English, and some take additional remedial courses after that. And the effects that we see from this dumbing down are myriad. The first thing that I noticed is looking at the National Assessment of Adult Literacy. They've only published it twice in the past 20 years, but it shows that only 29% of graduates from four-year degrees are at an advanced level of literacy across three dimensions: prose literacy, document literacy, and mathematical literacy. And those levels are down since 1993. Also, there was an excellent book recently published called Academically Adrift, and in that the researchers looked at a particular cohort of college students to see exactly what are they learning. And they found something that I thought was shocking. They found that half of students in this particular four-year university they looked at had learned nothing by their sophomore year. I think they said absolutely they show no signs of academic progress after 1 year at university. And they also found that in a typical semester, students are kind of doing this systematically. They choose courses. A third of students choose courses where they will have to do no more than 40 pages of reading per week and will never have to write a paper that's over 20 pages long. Something else that the way that students have been learning has changed is the amount of study time. Another study shows that now students only do 14 hours of study per week outside of class. In 1961, it was 24 hours of study per week outside of class. And what we see from the business community reflects all of these academic studies that we've seen about higher education. The business community consistently says that students with bachelor's degrees cannot write, cannot orally communicate, and cannot function in an office at the level that they expect students to do. So universities are obviously making what obviously is a difficult choice for them, but they are accepting these enrollees who are, frankly, not academically inclined or not very prepared, and as a result, the universities have in fact dumbed down their curriculum. And I think that's just one effect of a bubble in enrollment and of the overselling of higher education that we've seen from universities, from the public policy, from teachers and guidance counselors and parents and all the people who are projecting this conventional wisdom that you must go to college.